If See's Candy had asked $100,000 more, Warren and I would have walked. That's how dumb we were at that time.
10,000 more.
And one of the reasons we didn't walk is while we were making this wonderful decision, we weren't going to pay a dime more. Ira Marshall said to us, "You guys are crazy. There's some things you should pay up for, quality, business quality, and so forth. You're underestimating quality." Well, Warren and I, instead of behaving the way they do in a lot of places, we listened to the criticism. We changed our mind. And that is a very good lesson for anyone. The ability to take criticism constructively is well, think of all the money we made from accepting that one criticism. And if you count the indirect effects from what we learned from buying See's, you can say that Berkshire's been built partly by learning from criticism. Now, we don't want any more today. I do think that there's a lot to be said for developing a temperament that can own securities without fretting. I think that the fretful disposition is it's an enemy of long-term performance.
Well, I think it's almost impossible if you're to do well in equities over a period of time. If you go to bed every night thinking about the price of them, I mean, Charlie and we think about the value of them, but we would be happy, just as in that movie, if they closed the stock exchange tomorrow. Dick Grasso wouldn't be happy, and Jimmy McGuire, our specialist, wouldn't be happy. It wouldn't bother me and Charlie at all. We would keep selling bricks, selling deli bars, selling candy, writing insurance. A lot of people have private companies and they never get a quote on them. We bought See's Candy in 1972. We haven't had a quote on it since. Does that make us wonder about how we're doing with See's Candy? No, we looked at the company results. So there's nothing wrong with focusing on company results. Focusing on the price of a stock is dynamite, because it really means that you think that the stock market knows more than you do. Now, the stock market may know more than you do, but then you shouldn't be in stocks. I mean, you should have, the stock market is there to serve you and not to instruct you. So you need to formulate your ideas on price and value. And if the price gets cheaper and you have funds, logically you should buy more. And we do that all the time. Where we make our mistakes, frankly, is where we focus on price and value and we start buying and the price goes up a little and we quit, like Charlie referred to, we might have done on See's Candy. A mistake like that cost us $8 billion in the case of Walmart stock a few years ago because it went up in price. And, we are not happy when things we're buying go up in price. We want to go down and down and down, and we'll keep buying more. And hopefully we won't run out of money. Of course, that's a different story. Charlie, number 4.
Carnegie was always very proud that the bulk of his fortune had been earned where he took no salary at all from Carnegie Steel. John D. Rockefeller I took practically nothing in salary over the years. The original Vanderbilt prided himself on living on his dividends and taking no salary. It was a common culture in a different era, and you realize that all those people had the psychology of being the founder, and maybe that's what influenced Warren.
What influenced you, Charlie? Charlie doesn't take anything either, so
I was delighted to get rid of the psychological pressure brought on me by getting fees based on performance. I think Warren was too. If you're highly conscientious in your relations with other people and you hate to disappoint, you're going to suffer more if you are liberally rewarded with performance fees. So I think there was an enormous advantage to us. So I guess we should be thanking you.
Well, I tell college students that when you get to be my age, you will be successful if the people that you would hope to have love you do love you. I mean, if Charlie and I know a few people that have got a lot of money and they get testimonial dinners and they get their names on buildings, and the truth is nobody loves them. And, not their family, not the people who named the buildings after them. It's sad. And unfortunately, it's something you can't buy. I mean, Charlie and I have talked a lot of times, if we could just buy $1 million worth of love, I mean, it'd be so much more satisfactory than to try and be lovable. But it doesn't work that way. The only way to be loved is to be lovable. And I hate to tell you that at 13, but the nice thing about it, of course, is that you always get back more than you give. I mean I don't know whether it was Oscar Hammerstein or who said, a bell's not a bell till you ring it, a song's not a song till you sing it. Love isn't in the heart, isn't put there to stay. Love isn't loved till you give it away. And basically, you'll always get back more than you give away. And if you don't give any, you don't get any. It's very simple. I don't know anybody my age that is loved by a lot of people. We had a dinner the other night. Don Keel was there. Everybody loves Don Keel, and for good reason. And there's nobody I know that commands the love of people around, the people they work with, their family, their neighbors, that is other than a success or feels other than a success. I don't know how the people feel that where they know that nobody loves them, but I can't believe they feel very good. So it's very simple. You can't get rid of love. If you try to give it out, you get it back more than you've given, and it's the best thing. Charlie, what do you speak for?
Well, you don't want to be like the motion picture executive in California. And they said the funeral was so large because everybody wanted to make sure he was dead. And there's a similar story about the minister saying at the funeral, won't anybody stand up and say a good word for the deceased? And there was this long silence, and finally one guy stood up and he said, well, he said his brother was worse.
Look, I would say this, look around people older than you are. Look around at your older relatives or whatever, and you will not see an unhappy person who is loved by those around them. I mean, most people in this room are going to do very well financially. Most of the college students I talk to are going to do well financially, and some of them are going to have very few friends, real friends, as they get older, and others people won't be able to do enough for. And I see it around me all the time. So that's our advice for the day on that.